The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Abbas, has called for the establishment of a special court dedicated to prosecuting maritime crimes. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10, a Guinea-Bissau military court on Thursday ordered opposition leader Domingo Simios Pereira to be kept under house arrest after he was questioned again over accusations of plotting a coup against the military government, his lawyers said. Pereira, leader of the African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde, was detained when the army overthrew President Umaro Sissoco Embalo on November 26 last year. He was released under house arrest in January, but has been accused of involvement in at least 2 attempted coups, one in 2023 and one in October 2025. At number 9, Colombian pop superstar Shakira and Nigerian Afrobeat star Burna Boy will perform the official song of the 2026 FIFA World Cup at the tournament opening ceremony in Mexico City. The pair will take to the stage at Estadio Azteca on 11th June, ahead of the opening match between Mexico and South Africa, performing Dai Dai, the tournament's official anthem. As reported by BBC Sport on Friday, Dai Dai is a celebration of football's power to unite people across cultures and continents, FIFA said in a statement announcing the performance. The title of the song, an Italian phrase meaning "let's go" or "come on," is expected to be one of the centerpieces of the opening ceremony. At number 8, the Independent National Electoral Commission has warned political parties that any primary election conducted outside the Commission's May 30th deadline remains invalid unless a higher court overturns an earlier Federal High Court judgment on the matter. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Kudu Haruna, made the disclosure in a chat with The Punch. He advised the political parties would have to continue to comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2026 pending determination of the Commission's appeal before the Court of Appeal. The INEC Commissioner's position follows the ongoing legal disputes over the Commission's timetable for party primaries and candidates' nominations ahead of the 2027 general election. At number 7, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has approved a special compensation package for eligible Band A electricity customers affected by poor power supply arising from generation constraints on the national grid between February and March 2026. In a public notice issued on its social media handles on Thursday, the Commission said the directive was introduced following significant generation shortfalls across the Nigerian electricity supply industry, which prevented electricity distribution companies from delivering the minimum service levels guaranteed to some Band A customers in the first quarter of the year. NERC stated that it had issued Directive Number NERC 2026-002 on the special compensation of Band A customers arising from grid generation constraints to address the situation. At number 6, the Bauchi State Police Command has recorded a breakthrough in its fight against kidnapping with the rescue of 2 abducted victims and the arrest of 5 suspected kidnappers in Al-Kalari local government area of the state. The command disclosed this in a statement issued on Friday by its spokesperson, Nafiu Habib. According to the statement, the incident occurred on June 2, 2026, when armed men invaded the residence of a villager in Kwarin Gadali Hamlet, Pali district, Al-Kalari local government area, and abducted his 40-year-old wife and 25-year-old son. Habib said the police swiftly launched an intelligence-led operation following a report of the incident. At number 5, Nigeria is planning to repatriate more than 1,000 of its nationals from South Africa as anti-immigrant tensions rise in the country, long a destination for documented and undocumented African workers. The move by Abuja comes after Ghana recently repatriated hundreds of its citizens from South Africa in response to a wave of protests and violence targeting foreigners. Screening of Nigeria's voluntary repatriation scheme started Thursday. Foreign Ministry spokesman Kim Ebienfa told AFP on Friday. In a communique dated Tuesday, Nigeria's High Commission in Peroshire said it had negotiated waivers with host authorities so that those with immigration-related offenses would be allowed to leave on the eventual repatriation flight rather than be detained. At number 4, ahead of the 2027 general elections, Akwa Ibom State Governor Umu Eno has called on political candidates to focus on issue-based campaigns and avoid personal attacks, insult, and divisive rhetoric. Speaking at the closing ceremony of a 3-day prayer summit held to usher in the 4th year of his administration, Governor Enna said elections should be won through ideas and programs rather than name-calling, stressing that political power ultimately belongs to God. According to the governor, every citizen has a constitutional right to belong to a political party of their choice, but political engagements must be conducted with decorum and respect to preserve the peace and stability of the state. At number 3, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has classified the risk of importation of Bundibugyo strain of the Ebola virus disease into Nigeria as high, citing ongoing transmission in parts of East Africa, increased international travel, population movement, and porous borders. The assessment was disclosed by the Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, during a media briefing in Lagos on the country's level of preparedness following reported Ebola outbreaks in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. Dr. Idris said the agency's position is based on a dynamic risk assessment conducted in response to the evolving regional public health situation. At number 2, the management of Federal University of Technology Akure Teaching Hospital, Ondo State, has condemned the industrial action being embarked upon by the workers of the teaching hospital. The hospital chapter of the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals had earlier embarked on an industrial action demanding the withdrawal of the hospital's organogram and the creation of a separate department of medical laboratory services. The union also reportedly protested against the appointment of 2 deputy chairmen of the Medical Advisory Committee for Clinical Services and Diagnostic Services of the teaching hospital. In a statement issued on Thursday by the head of Public Relations Unit of the hospital, Mr. Tope Fayehan, this institution described the ongoing temporary industrial action embarked upon by the members of NUAHP as illegal. At number 1, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Abbas, has called for the establishment of a special court dedicated to prosecuting maritime crimes, arguing that such a move would accelerate the delivery of justice and strengthen the fight against crude oil theft and other illegal activities in the country's maritime domain. He said the proposed court would focus exclusively on cases involving crude oil theft and other maritime-related offenses, helping to address delays associated with the conventional judicial process. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.